Time began to explain. The Forest of Death, as its name suggests, is a place filled with death, located within the Cetus Margraviate. It's home to powerful, ravenous monsters and overrun with deadly poisonous herbs. Yet even in such a place where life seems impossible, humans have managed to survive. Criminals, and those so poor they can't even pay taxes, end up seeking refuge here. They live in slash-and-burn farming villages, doing whatever they can to survive. Tyan paused, lowering his head and placing a hand under his chin, visibly concerned. Recently, bandits have appeared in the Forest of Death, and they've started looting the villages within it. He looked up at Aiden, his expression serious. What's more disturbing is that ever since these bandits showed up, we've been receiving continuous reports of people going missing across the Margraviate. We suspect the two might be connected. He raised his head, locking eyes with Aiden. That's why we're planning to lead the Night Order into the Forest of Death to subjugate the bandits. Even though it's a slash-and-burn farming village, those people are still part of our territory. We can't just stand by and let the bandits hurt them. Aiden listened intently, his head lowered slightly, arms crossed, absorbing every word. Tyan continued, "If you want to go into the Forest of Death, you'll have to wait until we start the subjugation. You can join us then, or you can leave." Aiden, still deep in thought, murmured, "That's not good." Seeing Aiden's posture and response, Tyan's eyes welled with unexpected tears. "Don't tell me, is Aiden, as much of a scoundrel as he is, actually worried about the people living in the Forest of Death? Does this guy really have some basic human compassion?" But while Tyan wrestled with his emotions, Aiden was thinking something entirely different. What if the bandits find the ants first? His annoyance grew as the thought lingered. If those bandits discover the ants, they'll go mad trying to capture them and sell them off. I can't let them take my precious elixir. He gritted his teeth, his inner frustration building. No, I must save the people first. Just then, Underlord, who had been observing quietly, said with a sly smile, "I think your true intentions slipped out for a moment there, Aiden." Aiden made a worried face and looked at Tyan. Tyan, noticing this, leaned his head slightly toward Aiden, his eyes filled with confusion, waiting for Aiden's response. Suddenly, Aiden lifted his head, smiling. "I'll come with you to help. Let's go and take down those bandits causing havoc in the Forest of Death." At this moment, Aiden, Lo, Tyan, and 4 guards stood at the front gate of Cetus Fortress. It seemed like Tyan was waiting for someone. Meanwhile, Aiden and Lo stretched, loosening up. Aiden glanced at Lo and teased, "Make sure to warm up properly this time. Don't make a blunder like you did at the church earlier." Lo nodded earnestly. "Yes, young master. I'll make sure that won't happen again." As Aiden prepared to join them on the mission, 2 of the guards looked visibly frustrated. One of them glared at Aiden, gritting his teeth. Finally, one of the guards stepped forward and said to Tyan, "I have something to say to you." Tyan turned towards them, raising an eyebrow. "What is it?" The guard, clearly frustrated and angry, clenched his fists. "Are you really planning to take these headaches with you?" Hearing this, Tyan's expression darkened with anger. His gaze sharpened as he responded, "What did you just say?" The guard, still gritting his teeth, spoke bitterly. "Look at them. Clumsy actions, frail frames. They'll only get in our way." He gestured towards Aiden and Lo, who were still stretching, beads of sweat forming on Tyan's brow as he glanced at them. The guard continued, "And that's Aiden Remez, the one who humiliated you in front of everyone, and even insulted the Lord. I can't accept this, not as a knight of Cetus." Tyan's anger flared. "Did you just say as a knight of Cetus?" He grabbed the guard by the collar, pulling him close. "Is your honor as a knight more important to you than the suffering of our people? And how dare you refer to young Master Aiden, who's risking his life for Cetus, as a headache?" The guard fell silent as Tyan's words hit him hard. Tyan, still furious, continued, "Right now, it's your reckless words that are tarnishing Cetus' name." Looking over at Aiden, Tyan added, "I assure you, both my father and I have already acknowledged his strength. He's that powerful." At that moment, Aiden, rather than focusing on the tension around him, was daydreaming about the high-grade elixir he planned to make from the ant's tears. He absent-mindedly drooled, placing one hand under his chin, lost in thought. Tyan, noticing Aiden's distraction, sighed and added, though his actions can be a little weird at times. Tyan moved towards Aiden and said, "Thanks. This mission is going to be dangerous." Aiden shrugged and replied, "It's fine. I enjoy helping others." Rubbing his chin thoughtfully, he asked, "Do you think this group will be enough? If those bandits are bold enough to cause trouble in the Forest of Death, their numbers must be huge." Tyan, slightly annoyed, shot back, "You think I don't know that? I hired a reliable mercenary for that reason." Aiden's face flushed as a thought crossed his mind. A mercenary? Could it be someone from my past life? Just then, footsteps approached. A voice called out, "You're all here already?" Tyan recognized the voice instantly. "Here she comes," he muttered. Aiden's eyes widened in shock as the mercenary came into view, beads of sweat forming on his brow. Underlord noticed and asked, "Why are you so surprised? Do you know her from your past life?" Aiden quickly composed himself and replied, "No, it's my first time seeing her. But I can sense her origin." Turning to Underlord, he added, "Can't you feel it?" At that moment, the mercenary woman smiled brightly and approached the group. "Sorry for being late, everyone," she said warmly. "Nice to meet you all. I'm Lunia, a servant of the great god of carnage." Hearing this, Lo gasped. A servant of the great god of carnage? Did Tyan hire a priestess of the cult of divine carnage? Aiden smirked and turned to Tyan. "You brought a mercenary from a very interesting place." Tyan, studying Lunia, replied, "But she seems different from what the rumors say. I've heard that priests from the cult of divine carnage are supposed to be crazed with madness, but she just looks like a sweet, gentle girl." Aiden quickly interrupted. "I thought the same thing at first, too." Confused, Lo asked, "What do you mean?" Aiden replied cryptically, "You'll understand soon enough." Lunia then walked closer to Aiden and asked, "Aren't you Duke Remez's son? I've heard of you." Aiden smiled. "Yes, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Aiden Remez." He then added, "It's been a long time since I teamed up with a priest from the cult of divine carnage." Lunia's excitement grew. "Oh, so you fought alongside my brothers and sisters before?" Aiden, now slightly irritated, responded, "Yeah, a long time ago." His expression darkened as a memory surfaced. The image of a priestess who had betrayed him. Aiden finished. "She was quite a reserved person." Lunia explained, "Most priests in our cult work as mercenaries while on pilgrimage. So I'm sure you must have run into us a few times before." Her excitement grew, and she raised her hands to the sky, exclaiming, "This must be fate. Feel free to call me Lunia. Now, let's all do our best to punish the wicked." Hearing this, Aiden thought to himself, the cult of divine carnage, one of the three great religions with divine power specialized in combat. As a priestess from this cult, she shouldn't have any trouble handling bandits. Tyan then turned toward the Forest of Death, his fist clenched in determination. "All right, let's set off for the Forest of Death," he shouted. They entered the forest, with Aiden quietly observing his surroundings. "This forest looks far more ordinary than what I'd imagined," Aiden said to Tyan. Tyan nodded. "That's because this path was cleared by the villagers so they could gather supplies." Suddenly, Aiden felt something unsettling and whispered to Underlord, "I sense a strange aura. Do you feel it?" Underlord nodded quickly. "Yes, I noticed it when we first entered. There's a purplish haze in the air. It's as if some sinister energy is rising from the ground, like in the underworld." He paused before adding, "It's been a while since I've felt something like this. This forest lives up to its name." Aiden stopped walking, deep in thought. A forest where poison and evil energies seep from the ground. It makes you wonder just how resilient the people who live here must be. His mood soured as a memory surfaced, and he thought angrily, that rabbit. Did he send me here on purpose, knowing how dangerous it is? Clenching his fist, Aiden muttered to himself, "I'll teach him a lesson the next time I see him." Turning to Tyan, Aiden asked, "Are you sure this will be okay?" Tyan looked confused. "What do you mean?" Aiden explained, "Your father, the Margrave, he can't stand mercenaries. He hates them. Lunia may be a pilgrim from the cult of divine carnage, but she's still a mercenary. Are you sure it's wise to hire her?" What if your father finds out and scolds you later? Tyan's face tightened with anger, his teeth gritting slightly. If my father finds out, he'll definitely scold me. But that doesn't matter, he said firmly. In a serious tone, Tyan continued, there's no time to be picky about methods when it comes to saving the lives of our people. Besides, mercenaries have more experience dealing with bandits than knights do. If you think about it, it's only logical to hire them. Aiden, confused, turned to Tyan. Oh, you're pretty smart. In his mind, Aiden thought he's different from his father. Tyan, with a triumphant grin, shouted, Of course I am. You're the foolish one for not recognizing my true worth until now. Aiden rolled his eyes. I guess you still lack a bit of humility. As they continued walking along the path the villagers had cleared, Tyan suddenly pointed ahead. Look, I think that's the first village. But as they drew closer, Tyan stopped in shock. The guards and Lo also froze, stunned by what lay before them. The village was in ruins, devastated by fire. No one was left. Lunia, seeing the destruction, clasped her hands together and began to pray softly. Oh my, God of carnage! Aiden, taking in the sight of the charred remains of the village, muttered, Damn, we were too late. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this recap. If you'd like to see more manhwa recaps like this, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. That way, you'll stay updated on all my future content. Until next time, take care.